Jesus had to overcome to sit where he sat. You have to overcome. Nobody will do it for you. He said, as I also overcame, not as my father overcame for me, as I also overcame. As I also overcame, and I sat on my father's throne. Your destiny is a definition of your responsibility. It is not for free. It must be worked out. Word study. Number 2 way to building your spiritual weight, there are only 3 of them we are looking at, and then we short them, is word practice. What do I call it? Word practice. Word practice. If you look at Matthew chapter 7, that we are looking at, whosoever heareth the sayings of mine and doeth them, the same as built up his weight, so that no matter the flood and the rain and the wind, it will not crash. So the practice of the word enhances our spiritual weight. So it is not just making findings, it is appropriating the findings into our lifestyle that makes all the difference. Word practice. This is where the charismatics have a problem today. So much revelation, little or no application. So much revelation, and they celebrate plenty of quotations, but no traceable application. So they keep on suffering frustrations. Whosoever heareth the sayings of mine and doeth them is building on the rock. Is building up his spiritual weight. Forget about the wind. That building cannot come down. You shall not come down. You shall not come down. You remember, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. In 2 Corinthians 10 verse 5, he said, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts against the knowledge of God, and bring into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, so that when your obedience is fulfilled, you will avenge all disobedience. So it is the level of your obedience that determines the level of your command. It's not the level of your preaching, it's the level of your obedience. Imagine a preacher of prosperity who is not a celebrated giver. He would die a pauper. Amen. It is not the level of your knowledge that determines the level of your authority, but the level of your obedience. That's what that verse 5 says. That when your obedience is fulfilled, you will avenge all disobedience. You will be in command of all oppositions when your obedience is fulfilled. Amen. So word study, word practice. And then finally, number 3, spiritual exercise. Spiritual exercise. Building up yourself upon your most holy faith. Praying in the Holy Ghost. Jude verse 20. Praying in the Holy Ghost. Spiritual exercise. Praying in the Holy Ghost. Bodily exercise profits little, but godliness runs on all things, having the promise of the life which now is, and the one which is to come. 1 Timothy 4 and verse 6 to 7. Very important that we need to know that spiritual exercise is a requirement for building our spiritual weight. So we engage in prayers, we engage in fastings, and we engage in praying in the spirit, in building up ourselves. Friends, there's a battle going on over your life and my life daily. But blessed be God of heaven, the victory is guaranteed. Your victory is guaranteed.